Alec, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah. Well, how are you feeling? We know a lot of guys are sick right now. I know you were coming back from an injury. How are you health-wise right now?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I mean, I luckily wasn't one of those guys that was feeling sick, but yeah, I mean, I'm doing well.
How do you guys view OU going into it? You know, people on the outside probably weren't giving you much of a chance to even hang with the number 6 team in the country. And you were right there, had a lead, had an opportunity to potentially win the game. Just kind of how are you feeling? What does that say about this football team?
Yeah, I think that just us as a football team, every single week we go into a game, we believe that we're going to win the game regardless of who we're facing, just because of how talented we are. And it just, when we put it all together, that's what it looks like. And we're playing against a team like Oklahoma that's very talented, has great players, and we were right there with them the whole time. And I mean, we had every opportunity to win that game and finish it out, but we just fell short.
Alec, Gus mentioned after the game that he feels like you guys can maybe parlay how you played against Oklahoma and finish strong the rest of the season. Do you guys feel that way? You guys feel maybe you got over a little bit of a hump now and can kind of turn the focus a little bit on that?
Yeah, I think that the emphasis on getting our physical edge back and just getting our edge back to our team during the bye week was huge. And I think that Coach Malzahn did a great job of just holding us to the standard of what this program is set out to do, and that's winning every single week. And I think that you saw that in Oklahoma coming off the bye, and you'll see that again this week against West Virginia.
Yeah, the offense struggled in that first quarter, especially. What switch seemed to flip? What seemed to change to get you guys going against that defense?
Yeah, I think that the defense, they had some great calls in the beginning that just happened to counter what we were doing, and then once we started to kind of figure out what they were doing, we were able to just kind of settle into the game and do what we needed to do. And I think that the play calling was great, and we started moving down the field and making plays. Like, we had a lot of explosive plays, like RJ's run, Javon's catch, and just different stuff like that, just making sure that we're being explosive.
As a leader on this team, a veteran, what sticks most at you about this 4-game losing streak?
Yeah, I've never lost 4 games before. I mean, and that's something that it's a new challenge, and you got to just take that on as a leader and be like, hey, it's time to just put that behind us and look into the next week. And you can't let past performances affect the future, and that's something that we're really harping on, and knowing to look onto the next week and focus on getting a win against West Virginia.
Alec, overall, how would you rate your performance as the starting tight end on this team? Kind of, what do you feel like you've done well, and what do you feel like you could probably get better in this final stretch of the season?
Yeah, I think that I've had a pretty good season. I think that one thing that's been frustrating is just the injuries. It has been frustrating, but that's just something that comes with football. Is you're playing a physical game, and it's going to come with bumps and bruises. So it's just making sure that I'm getting into the training room and taking the recovery aspect of football extremely seriously, and then continuing to be a great leader to the younger guys on the team.
Randy Pitman had the touchdown against Kansas. He had a big catch on the last drive. It was like almost 40 yards. So what have you noticed about him? What sort of strides has he made, and how is his role evolving in the offense as the year goes on?
Yeah, I think that he's just an athlete, and you see that every single week when he goes out there, whether he's out there blocking as a freshman and he's holding his own, or he's going out there and making explosive plays in the passing game. He is an asset to our team, and the more we can get him on the field and the more that he can play, it just helps us. So.
What did you see John Rice go through on Friday night, Saturday morning? They said he was sick. He wasn't in the meetings. He's constantly getting IVs. As someone who's close with him, and then to see him go through that and have a gutty performance on the field, just kind of what was your perspective of watching John Rice in those 24 hours?
Yeah, I mean, he was feeling sick, and just I mean, you could just see that once the game, we got within, like, we were on the bus ride over to the game, it's the flip switched, and you couldn't even tell that he was feeling bad. And that's just something that when you have a leader like that on your team, it's inspiring. Just know when he's not feeling well, he's still going to give you his best, and he's going to go out there and fight regardless of the circumstance. And I think that he just showed the type of player he was against Oklahoma, and I think that he played really well.
What would it mean to get your first conference win at the Bounce House?
Yeah, I think that that's something that we should have had previous in the season, and I think that that's something that we will get this week, and it's something that Night Nation deserves. It's something that just our fan base, we've waited so long for this moment, and now that it's homecoming week, it's about time. And it's about time for us to come and have a gutsy performance and get a W this week.
I know you guys aren't into moral victories, and you talked a little bit about going through trying to get out of a losing streak. But how much just kind of looking at the big picture, did the game on Saturday give you guys confidence and a little energy to say like, hey, we can hang with anybody. We feel like we have our edge back, as this coach said. Did that give a little bit of confidence even in a defeat?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, there is really no moral victories. Like you said, it's a loss is a loss, and it's extremely frustrating. But going against Oklahoma, number 6 team in the country, and playing against a bunch of talented players, it just shows you the team that we have. When we put it all together, we can play with anybody. And that's something that we just need to do every single week, regardless of our opponent. It doesn't matter who's across from us. It's about us and about what we need to do to win and holding ourselves to that standard.
Alec, I asked Gus this earlier. Do you feel like this is a must-win game for you guys if you want to kind of finish strong this season?
Yeah, I mean, it's a must-win, but every single game in the season is a must-win. I mean, if you want to reach your goals and aspirations for a season, every single week you need to have that same intent. But this week would be a must-win.
It's still early in the week, but what do you know at this point about West Virginia?
Yeah, and they're a very disciplined team, very physical team, and they're a team that we're excited to play. And it's opponents like this is why players and recruits want to come to UCF, is to play in big games like Oklahoma, like West Virginia, against quality opponents that are going to test you every single week. So we're excited to play them, and they're going to be great competition for us.
What do you think the team needs to do to finish and play a full 60 minutes and come out with a win?
I think that we just need to be us. We just need to do what we're coached to do. We need to just strain that little more than we have been, and then just put everything together, and then we'll come away with a win. We just need to offensively be consistent throughout the whole game, defensively be consistent throughout the game, and then special teams, we need to make some explosive plays to help make the difference.
In here a few years, it's homecoming. Have you been to Spirit Splash? And if not, maybe are you one of the guys that will go down there on Friday?
Yeah, last year I got to go up on the stage, which was special, and I'll be headed back down there again, and hopefully I can get a duck for myself, but we'll see.
How cool is it kind of to see that like now you've got Shaq and all these types of big names coming out here to support UCF now that you guys are in a big conference?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it shows you just how big of a brand UCF is, the power of a university being in Orlando and Central Florida, and just our administration, everyone that's involved in UCF they're just a bunch of great people, and I think that people want to be around an environment like UCF. It's a young university, and it's a growing university, and it's definitely an exciting university to be around.
Going back to 1979, there were no scholarships for players. The coaches were 14 unpaid. Just hearing that type of stuff, but then looking at now how big the brand's gotten, what does that feel like?
Yeah, I think that it's extremely special to see the foundation that has been laid before us by what would have been those guys that weren't on scholarship, and now they're able to see what we're doing out on the field, and knowing that every single week that we go out to perform, we're playing for those guys as well, and all the past alumni that came prior to us, and know that, hey, in the future when UCF's going out to play, they're playing for us as well. So it's special to see, and it's really cool to see the growth.